Sammy and I did a little bit the other day about David Collum, the organic chemist at Cornell that Tucker had on his show. And he basically said we should have sided with Hitler. And he's a conservative, supposedly, Tucker is. But I thought the first thing that came in my mind was we should have sided with Hitler, and therefore we just gratuitously declared war on Hitler. He declared war on us. And
or worse than that, the amateur historian who's really, an anti-Semite who's saying, well, the on Tucker's show, the real villain of World War II is Churchill. And then Carlson just, sagely nods that, oh, yes, the man who actually built the gas chambers and who invaded Poland and had a secret pact with Stalin, he's the victim. But the man who helped save Western civilization is the bad guy. I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened to these. Just listening to the latest one, though, David Collum, in 30 seconds, he said three things that were completely demonstrably untrue. He said, well, there's 20,000 POWs that we didn't get back from Russia. Well, Russia liberated German camps. They had POWs. They negotiated with us. We were in a bad position because we had freed some Russians in POW camps, and they were going to be killed or worked to death if they went back to Stalin. And Stalin for a little bit said, well, we'll trade yours if you trade. And we were in a dilemma, but ultimately almost all of them we know were given back. And he said 20,000 were died. That's not true. He said that George Patton wanted to join Hitler and fight the Soviets. George Patton, who was suffering from exhaustion as a proconsul of Bavaria, didn't say he wanted, after Hitler was dead.
He said that the Soviets are a threat after the victory.
After the victory, and he said, we have the troops here. At some point, we're going to have to fight them. We might use retired German troops. He did not say that he wanted. He called what he said about Hitler, I personally plan to get to Berlin and hang that paper son of a and the other thing that he said that we could have avoided the Holocaust by joining with Hitler. The whole hunger plan was predetermined. He had killed 50,000 Germans who were had mental defectiveness. When he got into Poland, with 7,000 Jews were rounded up in 3 weeks. So it's almost a mythical effort, and all these people that I knew very well, and you knew them, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens. I don't quite understand what the catalyst right now.
I don't have a univalent explanation for all of it, but I think there's two things that are coming together in a disturbing fashion. Number one, clickbait, right? It's not about the truth. It's about, I must have the maximal views. I must have the most advertising on YouTube or what have you. So you've got to, it's not the truth that drives. It's the outrage.
Sensational, yes.
And the second thing is combined with the fact that there is no, that comedian who keeps going on Joe Rogan, who debated the great Douglas Murray,
yes,
that all experts are wrong. There is no such thing as expertise, which means nobody reads a book, nobody reads Mein Kampf, nobody listens to the transcripts of Hitler's speeches where he's railing against the Jews for 7 years. And then because you're not allowed, because some experts like Fauci lied, therefore all experts are liars, which brings us to what a friend of mine has called the woke right. That the right elements of it now see themselves as victims because of COVID or what have you, which leads to what? Just as much an epistemological argument that truth doesn't exist because there is no truth. They're all lying to you. From the WMDs in Gulf One to COVID, this is why the work of people like yourself is so important, because what do we stand for? Objective truth is real. Read a book and search for the truth, not for clicks.
I agree. And I think there's a third, and it's October 7th. I think something about the events that happened after October 7th rekindled the Buchanan idea.
Yes.
Well, World War II was caused by overdue empathy for an exaggerated Holocaust or exaggerated anti-Jewish laws in Germany. Therefore, we allied with communism and our natural allies were the Germans, and they weren't that bad to the Jews. And now look at what the Jews are doing. They're doing exactly what they did in World War II. They're trying to get us into a Middle East war when our natural friends are the Arabs and the Iranians, and now we're on the wrong side, just like in World War II, and it's the Jews, Jews, Jews. I think that was a lot of it. Because every time these people talk about Israel comes into their conversations in very oblique ways when they talk about World War II.
In a strange way, it's the catalyst. So this inordinate loss of life, the greatest loss of Jewish life since the end of the Shoah, since the end of the Holocaust, brings out this, triggers those who hid their anti-Semitism, and Israel's response to that massacre, they feel emboldened to say, well, you know who the real war criminals are. So I think it has a catalytic effect to draw out that nascent Jew hatred from those who had it covered under a veneer for far too very long. But the good thing is, President Trump and this administration sees those individuals for who they are. And let's not forget another thing. Not only is President Trump the first ever president as a sitting commander-in-chief to address the March for Life, he's the first president to pray at the Wailing Wall, at the Temple Wall in Jerusalem, the most philo-Semitic president since the re-establishment of Israel in 1948, fully behind that nation's desire to destroy everyone responsible for October the 7th. That's the reality of America first. Not America alone, but we are the pinnacle of the spear for a Judeo-Christian civilization.
That's true. And the Jews did not, everybody, as you all know, the Jews did not prompt us to get into World War II, and the Jews did not prompt us to bomb Iran or to get involved.
And what happened to World War III? I thought World War III was going to happen, and instantly we took action against Tehran, Professor.
And 30,000 dead. Remember, 30,000 dead. I mean,
it's 2025. America's debt is over $37 trillion, and the dollar just had its worst crash since 1973. That puts your savings and your family's future at risk. That's why we trust Alpha Omega Gold, a company that stands unapologetically with Israel and supports Stand Tall Israel. Visit ao.gold/stand to claim your free precious metals wayfinder guide, or call 1-855-426-4653 today. Protect your future before it's too late.